Yeah. Yeah.
Hey everybody, Savat the Mighty here, and I'm back with another Eve Echoes video. I want to start this video off by thanking everybody. I know I have been gone for a little bit of time here. I've been having some medical issues. I have blood pressure problems and stuff like that, so I have been in and out of even my regular day job with some issues. So I am going to try to make more videos now. I have everything back under control, I believe. For the time being, I still have some doctor's appointments and everything that I need to go to. But it's been fun, to say the least. So I do apologize about that. I still do plan on doing my live stream. I will stream tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern time is the plan for the live stream start. But I just kind of wanted to address why I haven't been making the videos, and I think I did that there without giving away all too much of my personal life and what's going on there. So I'm not going away. I just had a little bit of issues that I'm trying to take care of. So please don't feel that I'm gone. I'm still gonna try to make videos on a daily basis. Just sometimes I'm gonna have medical things and things that may prevent me from doing that from time to time, and I do apologize about that in advance. So to have a little bit of fun today, I figured I would take a look at a ship that's not released in the game and just do that. So again, tomorrow at 10 a.m. I will be doing the live stream. We'll be picking somebody else's mission to do, and we'll try to just go ahead and do that, have a good time. So I hope to see everybody there. All right, well, with that out of the way, if you do like my content, please leave a like on my videos, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you want to be notified whenever I do release new content in the future. And let's take a look at our ship here today. So I went ahead and took a look at one of the Sisters of Eve ship. We're taking a look at the frigate, the Astero. And this thing looked pretty cool. I can't really showcase it off how I think it's meant to be used as far as I think it's going to be like a scanning ship. So I think some of the mid slots are going to be replaced with some scanning equipment or whatnot, or maybe even the low slot. I don't really know. But I think this is going to be a fun little ship to have, especially when the scanning does come around. Let's take a look and see what it has going for us. So its roll bonus, it can fit covert op cloaking devices. Now that doesn't really affect me too much as for the purposes of looking at a ship solo and in combat encounters and everything like that, because the cloaking device isn't really going to come into play. However, the covert ops cloaking device definitely means that this thing is going to be able to be used going around in null sec and low sec and just going to be able to hide itself. Now, obviously, you're still going to show up in chat, but you should be able to get around and be able to scan all those little goody tidbits that you want to scan and not be able to be caught doing so as long as you do it right. So what else does it get? So for advanced frigate defense, it gets plus 5% cargo hold capacity. So I guess if you scan down some good stuff, go in and get it, you're going to have a bigger cargo hold. If you want to transport stuff around, it's also going to give you that little bit of bigger cargo hold. And it gets an additional plus 5% scan resolution and plus 1 scan strength as well per level. So I'm not sure how all of that's going to play into effect with the purposes of scanning, but take it for what it is. Now for Advanced Frigate Command, it's going to get plus 30% drone DPS per level and plus 30% drone effective hit points per level. And for the purposes of PvE, drone effective hit points don't really matter one bit. However, if you were out there scanning stuff down and doing some diabolical and nefarious deeds with this ship, those drone effective hit points might be something that would make your drones survive a little bit longer if they get targeted. Lastly here, it also does get plus 4% armor resistances per level, meaning that you want to use this ship primarily as an armor tank. However, that's kind of debatable as well once we take a look at some of the other stuff that the ship does offer, but it gets much more armor tank, and if you're going to forego any type of tank, or you're going to lean into what it suggests, then it's definitely telling you right here, hey, do armor. So for its basic information, its overall defense is 4,045, with a flight velocity of 330, a warp speed of 5 AUs, a power grid output of 71 megawatts, a capacitor of 647 gigajoules, and a cargo hold capacity of 420 M3. And again here, it's letting you know it should primarily be an armor tank, if you missed it from the bonuses that it gets. So what do we do with this ship? Before we break into all of the stuff here, we're going to kind of do this a little bit backwards today. We're going to go to the rigs first. And the rigs, I did stick in here 2 ancillary power grid router 3 rigs, because this ship has a decent sized power grid, and it allows you to utilize that to basically have some bigger things put in here if you're going to be wishing to do so. Again, I don't know what the scanning equipment is going to look like or how it's going to take or what type of power grid or whatnot. So that might be something that comes into play as well. Alright, so auxiliary thrusters 3, I have them in here because one of the things I noticed on the ship is even before I put them on, with the max level 5 skills, its velocity was pretty good. So this ship is going to have a very nice speed tank right out of the box built in, so I figured leaning into that a little bit more is going to help it out tremendously. So that's our engineering rigs. For offense rigs, we lead into its bonuses yet again, and we should have 2 drone firepower rigs and one drone firepower rig and 2 drone speed augmenters. So awesome. And that's going to give us a lot more drone damage. Now, I didn't opt to go with the increased drone range because of what I did here. So as you can see, for its offense, its drone control range is 35 km. You could push that out with 1 drone control rig all the way up to 50 km. So if you're looking to have that longer range engagement, which for a cloaky ship might be something that's kind of good. If you scan down some type of combat and there's a bunch of pirates there and everything like that, or even other people, being able to engage at a far range might be okay. As you can see, for its total offense, it's not bringing home any type of awards for I am the most offensive ship in the entire world. It's not. What do we do, though, with it? In our high slots, we have 2 Pith C-type medium missile launchers. We chose these here because they have a missile range of 36.89 with the skills. So, and the next thing is they have a very, very small power grid requirement compared to a lot of the other medium weapons. And so we stuck those in there to try to help mitigate some of the lower damage that this ship does have and give us something nice and fun to use to apply some DPS. In the mid slots, we have Haley target painters. I just put a couple of those in there, and a Predator Stasis Web of Fire. Again, these mid slots are kind of up for debate because I'm not sure exactly where the scanning equipment is going to go and stuff like that. So I just kind of put that stuff in there to be placeholders. Also, if you look at the power grid is pretty much maxed out. It's 122 out of 124. I could throw in there, I don't know, maybe a group shield field booster or something like that. Who knows? Lots of different things, but we'll have to see again whenever that scanning equipment comes out to see what it's going to actually do and how it's going to be going about doing it. Our drones, I have 3 Mark 9 Hobgoblins. I did put in here a Mark 9 Covert Ops cloaking device to kind of emulate that you're probably going to have that in there if you're using this ship. We have a Sinti C-type small afterburner. And we also have a Corpi C-type small armor wrapper. And the reason for the armor wrapper and the afterburner is because you got to go fast. The armor rep is to lean into the armor bonuses. If things do start hitting us, we want to be repairing on what we have the most resistances on. So I decided to go ahead and do that. So where does that put us? It puts us at a total offense of 389.19. That's 150.98 coming from the missiles and 238.24 coming from the drones. The drones have a 35 km range. The missiles have a 36 km range. Everything should work out pretty nicely when it comes there. Its capacitor lasts for 5 minutes and 40 seconds. So that's a thing. 5 minutes of 40 seconds minus 1.19 gigajoules or minus 11.7%. That should be okay. I believe that's with running the target painters. As long as we can turn one of those off, I believe it goes back to stable. Let's actually take a look. Yeah, stable. So without one of the target painters, it is stable. Target painters do take quite a bit of power to run. So if you notice that you need to get some cap back, just stop running one of those. Alright, moving next to the defense. We have 6,200 effective hit points. 1,436 is coming from the shields, with an EM resistance of 0, a thermal resistance of 20, kinetic resistance of 46, and explosive of 50. And we have armor hit points of 1,645 with an EM resistance of 60, a thermal resistance of 48, a kinetic resistance of 49, and an explosive resistance of 28. Perfect. We take a look at that. Now our targeting, we have 14 points with a scan resolution of 672, a signature radius of 31, and can lock a maximum of 5 targets. Our navigation, we already looked at that a little bit earlier. We're at 544.5 with a warp prep time of 2.1 and a warp speed of 5 AUs. Overall, it should be a pretty speedy little ship that can do a lot of different things. Half of those things are not released yet, but the ship itself is not released yet, so we're just kind of taking a look at it, seeing what we can do with it right now, and we will definitely revisit it once they do have all of the stuff that this ship will be taking advantage of in the game. Okay, let's go ahead and go out to the encounter. We have a couple of jumps here, and we're actually going to go through these jumps. I'm not going to go ahead and do a cut here today. Basically, what we're going to see here is this ship does warp pretty quickly.
Warp drive active.
Let's put all of our stuff together here. Oh, we're probably not going to be using that cloaking device. Okay. I just kind of have a gander at the ship. It's a pretty cool looking ship. It definitely has an interesting feel to the way that they design these with the ring around it and the little force field stuff. I like it quite a bit. But it would spend most of its time, I would imagine, just piloting around the galaxy with its cloaking device on. And just moving around space, being a cloaky boy. Trying to figure out exactly what's in this galaxy, scan it down, and defend itself whenever it needs to. I am very excited for scanning on a couple of different aspects. I can't wait to do the exploration part of it and try to visit around. I really think that's going to be fun. And I'm probably going to get myself my own cloaky ship that's probably not this one, but just something to kind of move around the galaxy and look for different things that can be found. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at the speed since we're out here. We don't really have any armor to take advantage of, but again, our armor resistances, if I didn't go over those, is 1,645 armor hit points with an EM resistance of 60, thermal 48, kinetic 49, explosive 28, and our structure is 1,653 with 33% resistances across the board. I think I kind of forgot to do that. I closed out. I shouldn't have. Let's go to the navigation. It is moving at 1,556.16. So we shouldn't really have any type of issues with that. Alright. Let's come in here. We are going to set orbit to 34.
Warp drive active.
Set approach to 0. Alright, so I am on a hard mission. This mission here is one of the missions that's out in the game that we can do right now. I just didn't want to run into very many battleships with this ship that doesn't have a whole lot of damage. Let's start locking everything up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's place that into orbit. And we are going to focus fire on... Oh boy. Okay. Let's activate both of our target painters. And let's get started here. We are a very interesting looking things going on around us here. So, our drones are just chilling. This is just missiles. There we go. Now our drone should be getting in there. But we're moving at a hefty speed out here as well, so we should have a pretty solid time. Excellent. And if we just use one target painter at a time, we should be able to pick off whichever target that we want to, and then have the other target painter ready. Now we could apply both of them, which we'll definitely do in this case here, just to kind of see if it applies that missile damage a little bit better. Let's actually set the orbit to 32. And the reason is our missile range is 36. Our drones are 35. I don't want to get out of that control range and have to retarget every single time. Yeah, so with both the target painters on, we are running down that energy quite quickly. So it itself is not going to win any awards at all for doing a lot of damage. But it's able to sit out here pretty safely and speed tank as well. Without having to worry about any type of clickies to activate in this build and whatnot, you can basically sit out here, speed tank, keep a pretty good distance away from your enemies if you run into them, and also apply quite a bit of damage. You have the missiles, the medium missiles there. They are for applying big chunky hits of damage to some of the bigger ships. And your drone should be able to take out any of the smaller ships, no problem, and apply a lot of little hits to, well, the bigger ships. A lot of your damage is coming from those drones, and you'd be able to set up those drones however you wish, whichever drones you find to be the best. But I don't see how this ship is going to have any type of issues handling any of the regular content that's in the game. I don't know what anything's going to look like whenever we do scan it down, and if there's going to be any type of elites or stuff in there. So that might actually start dictating whether or not you want to have that extra range, because you can have a very fast ship, and again, you might sacrifice a lot of the damage on there, but you could put in the 3 drone control augmenters and get up to some crazy range. I mean, 45, 80 km range on this ship, basically. And you could just sit out there, do your scanning, and have your drones kill off everything. So, there is something to be said about that, especially if you are an explorer and you're not focusing primarily on the combat, and you just need to have them for defense. Being as safe as possible is always going to be great with that different range. However, if you don't do enough damage to even get through their tank, then that can be a problem as well. Or things with a micro warp drive chasing you down, because you're only doing 1,500. However, it does have a pretty quick warp time, so as long as they didn't spawn close to you, you might be able to get out. But again, I don't know what scanning is gonna bring to the table. I'm excited to see. And I'm excited to use these type of ships. I just can't wait till I can see all of the equipment that's going to come along with them, so I can experiment around with all of that, and I'm very, very excited to see how they actually implement all of the scanning stuff and what they plan on doing with it. One of my favorite things about space type games is the exploration aspect of it. Sometimes I just want to fly around, see what I can find. So as you can see, wave 1 on this is still taking quite a bit of time. So do expect that your combats are going to be longer, but Again, sometimes it's not about the length of the combat and how effectively you're doing it, but how much fun you're having with ships that you enjoy. Covert cloaking means that you could take this ship out to nullsec. And in nullsec, you could basically try to scan yourself down some combat anomalies or something like that that they may have out there that might be very, very lucrative, and be able to actually handle them as well. So the trade-off for the damage and everything might be worth it if you're out there just trying to solo scan stuff down and want to make sure that if you do run into any type of scannable combat that you're able to actually accomplish it. Okay. So this guy here, he's trying to come chase us down, but we move so fast we're not letting him. But we've gotten pushed way, way out from the other ships. But we do move quite quickly, so we're gonna head back in. Actually, it looks like this guy wants to dance. We will hit him up with our old target paper. Target paper. I was going to say toilet paper, but target painter. You know, bad jokes. Alright, so we're going to start firing on him now. Our drones are definitely within range. We can lock up everybody else, and basically that's it. We're going to orbit around here at our about 32 to 35, depending. We do move quite quickly, so we can spin people out of it. We are going to try to watch the other ships, though, as well. We want to make sure that we don't buzz by and get too terribly close to anything. We want to make sure that we're using our range effectively. Overall, I can definitely say if you are looking for a straight-up combat ship, this is not the ship for you. However, look at it, it's wobbling. As Havoc would say, it's wobbling like a hot dog. We did actually take a hit there. We've got some of those ships that have gotten in very close to us. Again, normally that would be a very big problem. You wouldn't want to do that. You would want to watch what you're actually doing and not let them get close so they can't web you if that's the case, but this being a news mission, not too concerned. Even if they did place a web on me, it'd be a Mark V web, and we would still be outpacing them by a lot. So the missiles still do give you that pretty beefy hit every so often. Definitely not bad. But ultimately, there's not a whole lot here. It's going to be a very good ship for survivability, I think, anyway. It's going to have a lot of potential with, especially with that covert. I can't speak. The covert ops cloaking device. Oh my goodness. That cloaking device is going to make for some definite interesting things. I guess even on smaller ships, they would have to be wary because they can just uncloak and attack, I believe. Yeah. Lock delay is minus 100%, so it could come right out of cloak and attack. Now, if it's going to be coming out of cloak and attacking like that, it's probably going to see those guys fit out with the Mimitar drones, as their speed is the better of them all. But I can definitely, anything that has a Covert Ops cloak is definitely going to be used in PvP at some point. I mean, that's just how it is. And I'm sure the PvPers are already oogling the ship and going, what can I do with it? I would be excited to see what they actually do with it. Again, I wonder though what the scanning equipment, if there is going to be scanning equipment, or if it's just going to be a thing that certain ships can do that have the additional scans or whatnot. I don't know. I am quite excited though to find out how that's going to work and how it's going to change up the way that these ships look. The Sisters of Eve ships just, I think, are going to be very cool, and I'm very, very much wanting to see the exploration portion of this. I do know a lot of people that I talk to that are very excited about the exploration. So. I think we have one more wave after this. Again, these ships here definitely going to be slower at the attacking. But it's able to do it quite safely. I know I've said that over and over again, but it's really nice to see the fact that it can do that. And also one of the things too is it does give that cargo hold bonus. So with its cargo hold bonus, it looks like its storage space is 525 M3. It's not too bad for a frigate. It'll be able to pick up quite a few things. So definitely going to be the ship that you're going to want to pal around with just for a relaxing cruise around the galaxy where you can try to stay safe with your cloaking and your speed and just look for random things. See what you can find. Okay. So we got the drones on the frigate right now. We're going to put the destroyer into orbit because he was getting a little close to us. But that's okay, he can't catch us. And that's pretty much it. Once those guys are doomed, we can actually start moving in now. We got him in the hole. Even if he grabs us for a moment, that'll be fine. Like I said, they're Mark V Webers, so they're not going to do much to us. Actually, we should be able to lock up all these guys. And get our other buddy destroyed over here. And away he goes. Not too bad at all. The Celeste here, I believe. Oh, it's just Astero. He doesn't have a name. Ah, in death, his name was Robert Paulson. Everything is firing. I always have to make sure of that. I'm just so used to whenever I do these tests having everything explode in moments. I sometimes think, I'm like, do I actually have everything on? And it turns out that I do. Again, this ship is full of surprises with its abilities to cloak, its speed tank on here, which is phenomenal. It's wiggling around. It does all sorts of fun things. But damage is not one of them. Okay. Moving on. And there we go. Excellent. So it's cutting through this guy too pretty nicely. The cruisers, it definitely takes a little bit longer to kill here, but it kills them pretty quickly, to be honest. Now remember, again, this is on the test server with all max 5 skills, so if you get into this thing, it is a frigate, so getting all the skills to level 5, the one thing that I can say about it though is it is using the medium missiles, and the medium missiles are also going to be taking into account the cruiser and battle cruiser engineering skills. So that is something to be said whenever you do have the upgraded weapons on smaller ships. And those engineering skills really do mean a lot when it comes to fitting. But to be fair, I don't think we're going to actually be putting medium missiles on this thing. I'm pretty confident that the power grid requirements for the scanning stuff is going to be up there, so you're probably gonna have your smalls on here. And just be using the drones for DPS for a majority of the things that you do. But who knows, right? Alright, we're down to the last ship. The last cowboy. Excellent. So we got this guy painted up real nicely. Our target painter is coming out of our butt, though. Not sure how I feel about that. It's the butt target painter. Where did you guys outfit the target painters on this ship? We put them next to the engines. So you guys have a red laser coming out the butt of the ship. Yeah, that's what we did. Got it. Kind of like a scorpion. It's the little things. Alright, so we're getting rid of this battlecruiser here. He is mainly into armor. He'll be into hull soon. He'll take a couple more shots from those missiles, and I hate it when it does that, when it skips that last little bit of armor. I guess it has to do with the region and just the timing of everything, but that's always been one of the things that has bugged me. This guy is landing some hits on us. I guess we're ended up going in a straight line. Why are we going in a straight line? Did we break orbit again? I guess my mouse is double clicking and sending us off into directions. That's something that happens too. There we go. Big chunky hit. We're back in range. The missiles can do their things, boys. Okay. And that's that. Able to speed tank with the best of them, has some drones, has the ability to do some things. Overall, I think it's going to be a very cool ship, and I look forward to see what more it's going to be able to do in the future. I'm very excited about that. But what do you guys think? Just seeing how this thing is set up now and everything, what would you do for fittings for how it is now? And how do you think it's going to be able to be fit in the future? Let me know in the comments below. And I will see you guys next time. Have a good one.